Everything has changed. It is now the time of the color purple. Purple is a royal color, the color of kings and queens. At one time, only kings and queens could wear the color purple. Roman citizens could wear one stripe of purple on their clothing, but that was all. Purple is a serious color. And something serious is happening. A king is coming. But not the kind of king that people expected to come. This king didn't have a great palace, or a mighty army, or lots of gold. This king came as a baby, born in a barn. The king who was coming is still coming. The king who was coming is still coming. This is full of mystery. Sometimes it can be very hard to enter into or even come close to a mystery as great, as big, as surprising as Christmas. Every year, people walk right by Christmas. They go right through it. They end up on December 26th, and they haven't even seen what was important. They weren't paying attention. Maybe they don't know what is there. The church realized a long time ago that people need a way to get ready to enter into the mystery of Christmas. They need time to prepare themselves, to tell the stories, to tell the truth about themselves and the truth about God. The church gave us the gift of 4 whole weeks to prepare ourselves. These are the weeks of Advent. And during this time, we are all on a journey to Bethlehem. We are all on the way, along with the prophets, the Holy Family, the shepherds, the angels, the wise men. Let's go on this journey that was not just long ago. It is now, right now, too. On the first week in Advent, we remember the prophets who pointed the way. Now, prophets are people who come so close to God, and God comes so close to them that they know what is most important. The prophets knew that something important was going to happen in Bethlehem. They weren't exactly sure what, and they weren't exactly sure when, but they knew that Bethlehem was the place. Stop! Watch! Pay attention. Something is happening in Bethlehem that will change everything. On the second week of Advent, we remember the Holy Family and the little town of Bethlehem. This is Mary, and this is Joseph. And this is a donkey. Mary and Joseph were on a journey to Bethlehem. It was a long way away. Mary was about to have a baby. And when you're about to have a baby, it's hard to walk a long way. So Mary would get up and ride on the donkey. But when you're about to have a baby, it's hard to ride on a donkey too. so Mary would get down and walk. She rode and she walked all the way to Bethlehem, and Joseph was with her every step of the way. It was a long, hard journey, and they were tired. They may have been the last ones up the road to Bethlehem that night. On the third Sunday in Advent, we remember the shepherds that were out in the fields near Bethlehem and watching over their sheep. At that time, just like today, shepherds could be men and shepherds could be women. We're not sure exactly who was there that night, and we don't know exactly how many, but we know that there were shepherds in the fields watching over their sheep in the dark and the cold, taking care of them, because that's what shepherds do. They were trying to stay awake and take careful watch over their sheep to make sure that a wolf didn't come and snatch one, or to be sure one didn't wander away, as sheep are prone to do. When suddenly in the darkness there was light. Light broke through the darkness and filled the sky, and the shepherds were terrified. What's happening? And they heard singing, and that made them feel scared too, until they heard the words of the song. It was an angel singing. The angel said, "Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid." Angels say that a lot because it can be scary when a messenger from God comes to visit you. And there were suddenly lots of angels in the sky, and they were singing, and they said, "Don't be afraid. We have good news, good tidings, great joy, peace on earth, goodwill to everyone, everywhere. A child is born, the one we have been waiting for, Christ, the Messiah, the promised one. Run, hurry, go to Bethlehem. See the child who will change everything." On the fourth Sunday in Advent, we remember the three kings. The wise men, the Magi. The Magi came from far away in the east, and they were so wise and knew so much about so many things that people thought they were magic. In fact, we get our word magic from their name in their language, Magi. The Magi knew so much about so many things, but what they knew the most about were the stars. They knew just where the stars would be at each time of the year, and that way they could help people. They could tell them when it was the best time to plant their crops, when it was the best time to go on a voyage over the sea, when it was the best time to take a trip over the high mountain passes, when the snow would not be too deep. The Magi knew everything there was to know about the stars, or so they thought, because then they saw the wild star. It wasn't where a star was supposed to be in the sky. It wasn't on any of their star maps, and it didn't behave the way a star was supposed to behave. It moved. The Magi decided to leave everything behind, take the best of what they had, the best gifts they could bring, and follow the star to see what its shining would show them. They followed in faith and hope, and the journey was long and difficult. It took them a long time, and they came late after the child was born. 2 years after, Matthew tells us. Every year it seems they come late. We celebrate them on January the 6th each year, the 12th day of Christmas. But we remember them during Advent because the Magi, like we, are on a journey. Now watch carefully. At Christmas, everything changes. We are reminded of the light that broke through the darkness. The light shined in the darkness, and the darkness could not overcome it. This is the day. This is what we've been preparing for. On this day, Christmas, we celebrate that the Christ child, the promised one, was born for us, for everyone. Jesus, born to be God with us, Emmanuel, to take on our humanity, the burden of our flesh, to know hunger and thirst, sadness, betrayal, pain. Jesus, King of Kings, but not the kind of king people expected. A different kind of king, announcing a different kind of kingdom. Jesus, Lord of all, and yet born as a tiny baby, helpless in a barn. This is a big surprise. How unexpected. Maybe the one who was most surprised was the cow who came to find breakfast and found a baby in the manger instead. In Advent, we celebrate with light, and light shows us the way. This is the first light of Advent, the light of the prophets who pointed the way to Bethlehem. This is the second light of the Holy Family and the little town of Bethlehem. This is the pink candle of joy we light on the third week in Advent. The fourth week of Advent is the light of the Magi. And on Christmas, we light the light of the Christ child, the light that shines in the darkness, the light of the world. Let's enjoy the light. Holy God, you show us the way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Emmanuel, come to be God with us, showing us your love and how to love others, giving us life and showing us how to live it. God, fill us with your love and your hope. Help us to share your good news with everyone, everywhere, for you so loved, you so love the world. Amen. My friends, blessed Advent and Merry Christmas.